Hello again, this is Nick Roach. Again we're outside, nice day, bit noisy, birds, cars in the background, windy, we'll see how it goes. Today I'd like to say a few words about something that's happened to me recently. In the autobiography, A Dream It May Be, But the Dream Goes On, I described my journey up to the end of last year, 2016, starting with an insight when I was in my early 20s that life is a dream, one being, one mind, and this is being created within that, and one realizes that as his or herself. There's only one being. And the book describes my process of waking up to the experience of being awake in the mind, the dream, the being. And I said I would continue to update on any future developments or deepening of experiences. So back in April I did one entitled After No Self or Liberation, where I described the awareness and the needing to do anything was they became united and one and the same, and all sense of opposites, all sense of description of the experience went, and there were no words to describe, just whatever was left. No ups, no downs. It was a sensation. It wasn't being something, it wasn't being nothing, it was just whatever was left. Well, something new has happened in the last few days. I wanted to say a few words about it. Last week, Sally asked me, why is it important to you that people read the book? And I had a good honest look at it. It was very simple actually. It was the last remaining attachment in the sense of a goal or doing anything that was left. In my early 20s I had that insight, which led to that a dream it may be, but the dream goes on, the knowledge. And soon after that I decided to write the book, and for 25 years everything I wrote, everything I experienced, I recorded, knowing this will go into a book one day. That was my one enduring aim, target, goal for all those years. Everything else going on, all the difficulties, that was the one thing. This will go into book. I've learnt from this, the new knowledge. And then the book was published, and great, now I've got to tell people about it. And I saw I had to give that up. And as is the way, often one only has to see these type of things, and immediately they start evaporating. Like emotion, it was emotion, attachment, but even anything like this, it just dissolves when it's looked at. When it's looked at honestly. Excuse my feet on the squeaky chair. So the next couple of days, this knowledge was with me. I'm dissolving the attachment to the book being anything other than what it is. Dissolving it. Dissolving the attachment. Any want, any need, anything. And by 2 or 3 days later, I was walking through the woods, just feeling this, watching, being, and something quite intriguing happened, and that's what I want to talk about here. Okay, birds flapping behind me on the bird feeder. all of a sudden I connected with a knowledge, quite powerful, and then it evaporated. And that knowledge was of being emotionally attached to the moment. This was quite intriguing, because I saw that whereas emotional attachment is usually understood to mean something else, looking forward to, worrying about forward or past, attachment to things outside the moment, what had happened was that energy had been dissolved so much, eventually all that was left was for the attachment to what is. That's quite intriguing. We often refer to being in the moment as not thinking about other things. But of course the other side to that is not wanting what's beyond here now. It's perfectly possible through meditation to spend a couple of hours, let's say, being in the moment, not thinking about anything else. But that's not to say there's not emotion wanting something else. It's not to say just because you're not thinking about anything that you don't have a long-term goal inside you in the future, wanting this, hoping this happens, worried about that, regretting this. It just means in that moment you're not thinking about it. So being in the moment has two sides to it. Yes, it's not thinking about anything beyond now, but it's also not wanting anything beyond now. Now the wanting, the emotion, drives the thinking, but they are two sides of the same experience. So what happened was the emotion had been dissolved so much over the time, the spider's webs on my hand, that all that was left is the attachment to whatever is experienced here in the moment now. And there's still attachment there, that means. And that is still being dissolved as the individual, man and woman, continues to live their life. Yes, they're living in the moment. Yes, they're not wanting what is beyond now. But there is still emotional attachment, because that is what is creating the body. I've said this all along, it's in the books. It's the attachment to being separate that creates the physical environment, creates the body. And I said that in the end of the book, what would continue is the attachment to being separate would be dissolved. And what happened to me in the week is all attachment has been dissolved except for this one remaining one, which is the original attachment within the moment. Thank you.